Power Perspective, Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. to midnight.
It's the Power Perspective on Power 98.7, still with music. And this time, lots of music that we are talking about, as in 1,178 marimba players got together on the 2nd of August, that's this past weekend. Now, the marimba players were from South Africa and Zimbabwe. They came together to set a new world record for the largest marimba ensemble at Grand West Arena, Cape Town. They performed a medley of Waka Waka and Jerusalema. They were more than doubled the previous record of 505 players. Organized by Marimba Jam and supported by Grand West, the event united performers across socio-economic backgrounds in a joyous celebration of music, culture, and Ubuntu. The founder and CEO of Marimba Jam, Kiara Ramklass, joins us on the line. Kiara, good evening to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and apologies for coming to you later than we had initially planned.
Thank you for having me, Tabitha. Not a problem at all. I'm happy to be here.
So tell me about this initiative. How did this idea come about? I mean, we'll get to the logistics in a moment. Like 1,178 marimba players, that is quite a thing.
Mm-hmm. You know, back in 2018, we actually tried to break the world record. That was currently 108 players back then, and that was Australia's record. And we brought together 241 young girls from the schools that we teach, and we actually did it on National Women's Day. That was in 2018. But we didn't realize actually what it takes to break an official Guinness World Record. And so even though we technically broke the record with that many players back then, it wasn't officially recognized. And I think since that moment, we said one day we need to do this officially. And we decided, you know, every year we do our festivals here in Cape Town. What can we do to bring this to a larger national scale? And then about 2 years ago, we said, let's go for a Guinness World Record this time. Let's bring all schools from around the country together. Let's see what we can do. And then, of course, the interest was so amazing that schools from Zimbabwe ended up coming down all the way to Cape Town. So, yeah, 1,177 was like, we didn't expect to have that many people interested, and even like, you know, pay for their own trips to come down all the way to Cape Town. It's not easy for a lot of young kids, and we had young kids there, as young as 8 years old, traveling all the way to be part of this world record. And I think, yeah, that was really special for everyone there.
And tell me about the, because I mean, I imagine to break a world record, there would be strict parameters that are in place. Just tell us about what those are in order to make the record official. And I would imagine that there's specifics about the instruments and the players and all of that. Just tell me what those parameters the boxes that you had to tick.
Yeah, so there was like about probably 20 pages of guidelines.
Wow.
But yeah, and you know, one of them was every player has to play with 2 mallets in their hand. The ensemble has to play for maximum or minimum of 5 minutes rather. But then there was all the technicalities, like we had to figure out a way of counting each person without them necessarily being able to be counted twice. So we had to get unique barcodes. The Guinness World Record adjudicator had to make sure people couldn't be scanned backstage, you know, because of cheating, etc. So it was quite a process that we had to follow to get us,
And did each player have to have their own instrument?
No, which is
when I say their own, when I say their own, I don't mean as in they own it themselves, but as in one player per instrument. Because I know that you can have 2 players on a marimba, if not more.
Yeah, so it actually that used to be the guideline for this world record, because this world record's been in existence for many years now, and many countries have set it, but they actually changed that particular guideline, and I think it was also because we were asking, you know, can we share the instruments? Because at, like, just for example, one school we teach at here in Cape Town, 100 girls do marimba, but they only have 15 instruments at the school, you know, because the different bands share it every week. So they changed the guidelines so that we could share the instruments. And we also had some kids playing backwards on the marimba so that we could fit as many people on these instruments as possible.
All right. So let's talk the logistics now. How did you go about finding 1,000 marimba players? Well, over 1,000 marimba players. I mean, some came from outside of the country. You mentioned from Zim. Actually, isn't the marimba from Zimbabwe?
That's a great question, which actually we've learned about and we've looked at the history of the marimba over many years, and the design from Zimbabwe with the legs definitely is the design that traveled and eventually made its way to South Africa. But even before that, there were earlier versions of the marimba that existed in more northern parts of Africa. The marimbas used to be played on the ground, like you dig holes in the ground and you put the wooden planks over it, and that used to be the resonating chamber. And then it became the calabash vegetables that were attached to the wooden notes. And so, yeah, the marimba's history has spread across the globe. In fact, in South America, it's also, traveled, made its way there. And in fact, Guatemala, who were the previous record holders, it's their national instrument as well, the marimba. So it's got quite a cool history across the globe, but definitely the South African diatonic marimba, that's our unique version of the marimba, comes from Zimbabwe. But to go back to your question, about getting all the marimba players together, I mean, we started here in Cape Town with a lot of the schools that we knew, and it was about emailing them directly, calling up schools. Our team was on the phone with schools, and then we put out an ad on Facebook, and we just got a lot of community groups, a lot of schools from around the country, and we thought this was amazing because now it's reaching schools that we didn't even know existed, and I think the word spread from there.
Very interesting. Now, and in terms of the instruments, because I imagine that's also a logistical nightmare, trying to get all the instruments to this location where you were at the Grand West, which is where you performed. How many, I don't know what, sets of marimbas, I don't know, what do you call it, a marimba, one marimba, and how many did you actually did you have in the end?
We had 441 marimbas in the end, and it was really a challenge for us, I won't lie. We had to help some schools by getting trucks down from Joburg and Durban so that we could help those schools make their way, because these instruments are massive and heavy. And then our team actually had to go through a whole process of plotting them on a floor plan to scale so that it could be approved by the health and safety and the Guinness World Record people. And so we actually had to ask my cousin, who's an architect, to draw every single marimba and every single child to scale on the Grand Arena floor to be able to even know that we can fit 441 in the Grand Arena. We were basically at capacity at that point.
All right. And then in terms of preparing for the actual attempt, how long did that take? Tell us about that process.
Mm-hmm. So we had decided on the songs Waka Waka and Jerusalema, and then we recorded videos and our team wrote sheet music, and we sent it out to the schools a few months before. So every school would be able to practice it in their own time, and then for the first time on the night, they all played it together. It was interesting because we didn't know what to expect with the 1,100 kids trying to play the same song together, which obviously we all learn the marimba in different ways at school as well. So being able to keep everyone in time was always going to be one of the biggest challenges, I think, on the day. And then what happened was the microphones in the arena had a delay. So our conductor, Lutando, who was always going to drum on the big drum and call through the microphone to keep everyone in time, couldn't do that anymore because half the people in the front were hearing it at a different time to the speakers because of that delay. So,
wow.
Yeah. We then ended up having to get all of our staff through the aisles and clap. And so we ended up just clapping the whole arena to keep everyone in time. But obviously kids would rush because of the excitement. So, you know what, I think at the end of the day, it came together. We played, but yeah, those are one of the things which we could never have anticipated.
So as individuals, the various schools or whoever else came together there, how much time did they have to practice on their own? Because you said you sent out the videos, did you?
Yeah, so they've been practicing for a few months now. We sent it about April. But I do know that some schools only started like a month ago to learn the song. So I think in everyone's own time, they managed to get it at the end.
So now I would love to know what this sounded like. I know you've shared some videos of some of Marimba Jam's performances, but is there, can we see, is there somewhere where we can actually watch the recording?
Yeah, it's all over the internet. I can try to find some.
Because I'd like to give people to hear what 1,000 marimba players playing together sounds like.
I'm gonna send a video.
Awesome.
Now.
Yeah.
To Luvuani.
Okay.
And then, yeah.
Okay. Cool.
We can play it from there.
Yeah, we'll certainly do that. We'll do that after our conversation is done. All right. So then and then on the day itself, how much time? Because I would imagine there's also restrictions about time and all of that in terms of your performance.
Yeah, so we ended up playing for 8.5 minutes together. We had intended it to be 10 minutes, but because the kids sped up, it just made the song a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
But yeah, well over the 5-minute minimum mark.
Okay. And then what's the reward for breaking a Guinness World Record?
So it becomes official. It's on their website right now. And I think for all the kids who participated, each of them are going to get an official Guinness World Record gold medal that's being flown down from London. So that's going to be really special for the kids to have. And I think just for us as the South African and Zimbabwean marimba community to have this official title. I also know Zimbabwe back in, I think it was 2018, also tried to break this world record, but it wasn't officially recognized. So I think for both of our countries, this recognition, making it official, puts us on that global stage and just gives it that prestige of, we've made it, we're recognized now.
And how long before somebody attempts it? Do you know of anybody? I mean, you broke somebody's record. I'm sure they were keeping tabs on you. How long do you think how long did the previous record last, by the way?
Guatemala set it in December 2021, so about 3 years.
That's not a bad. That's not bad.
But my team doesn't want to hear about it. They're like, no one must come for a record anytime soon. It was a lot,
Yeah. And what in terms of the work you're doing with Marimba Jam? I mean, it would be awesome to be able to see this a performance of on the scale. Obviously, you mentioned how difficult it is to put together. So, what are the plans for the future? Then you've got the record. I mean, it would be great to be able to see this performance. Like again, you can only have it on a limited number of times, given the logistics involved.
We actually are launching the Marimba World Championships next year. So we use this as a platform to also get all the schools in this community on the same page. And we realized that the International Marimba Festival that used to take place every year in Johannesburg stopped this year. And so we thought, this is the perfect gap for us to launch the Marimba World Championships. And also it's going to be an opportunity for this largest marimba ensemble to then connect again. So it will be more than just a competition. It will also be a space for us to then play a mass item together as part of this World Championship and feel that here's again we are like the title holders, like the Springboks, they will be for 4 years the World Championships. We are the World Champions, so we should be able to come together again, next year as the World Champions and play it together. To celebrate just being the largest marimba ensemble that the world has ever seen in marimba.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on this achievement, because this is quite something. And we do have the link now. So as we say goodbye to you, we are going to play a little bit. We're going to play do you have it? Are you ready with it? Not yet. Okay. Do you have it? Do we have it? Okay, whatever. We're going to play it at some point. But congratulations on this tremendous effort. And as you say, now we've got another world champion in South Africa. Thank you so much, Storm, for being with us this evening.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having us.
Kiara Ramklass, there was a Storm. Yeah, Kiara Ramklass, I beg your pardon, is the founder and CEO of Marimba Jam. Thank you so much for joining us.